Shut up and sit down.
So I finally got an appointment with Nissan. So I have warranty to get the flat tire fixed, which is over here. So that's the spare that I've been driving on for just over almost 2 months now. Thankfully I don't drive this car very much, and I don't really go any further than maybe 5 miles from my house at any given time. So yeah, I get like 3 weeks to the gallon with the SUV right now. The nice thing is that we have a free car wash and vacuum at my apartment, so that helps out super well. So I'm basically going to vacuum my vehicle and then tomorrow take it over to Nissan to get the flat tire repaired. The spare is in the trunk right now. And then I noticed when I was sorting stuff out that down here a like gigantic, sorry, my vehicle's on because of my air conditioning because it's still 100 degrees outside. So something had impaled my vehicle and knocked this little vent out of the way. And when I reached in there, I felt this gigantic like piece of like space rock, maybe from NASA, and you can see the damage right here. So I don't know what I like drove over. I actually know rocks because I took like an earth science class in college. So I was like examining it and trying to Google it and trying to figure out like what part of the world this this rock had hit my vehicle. I don't think it was like a long time ago. I did probably about 23,000 miles of road trips last year in 2020, and I don't recall like having like gravel and stuff, so I don't know where that came from. On this side is the vent. Obviously it's supposed to look like that. It doesn't, so hopefully they can fix that. Hopefully they don't have to like fix the whole bumper. And then over here a piece of you can't really see it too well, but you can see kind of the scratches that are probably about 8 inches 8 or 9 inches of scratches. That's from a roof shingle that came off one of the roofs in my apartment complex, and we have like 10 foot ceilings, and so it was super windy in January when I was building the van, and I heard this thud sound like a dead body like hit my car, and I just ignored it. But then when I went outside, the shingle was like literally wedged in between my window and the what is it, like the hood of the bonnet, as we say in England, the hood of the car. Just to clarify, I'm English, but my parents are American, so I actually had an American vocabulary growing up. I didn't really say things like, you know, boot and bonnet. It said, you know, trunk and hood. So anyway, the hood probably needs to be repainted. The insurance company said that the windshield was damaged, but I haven't seen any damage on the windshield so far. So today just going to clean, and then tomorrow get my second baby here cleaned up. So yeah, so hopefully right now I'm just going to vacuum and maybe go run some errands. I cleaned the whole car out, so that's good. And yeah, so that's kind of the plan for today, and it's in the shade, so I'm not like dying of heat stroke, so that's good. Good morning. It is 8:30 and yet another early morning for me. Look at all the oh my god, all of the commuter traffic going up to the Galleria area. Hundreds and hundreds of cars on the other side of the road. That is nuts. That was my life for so long, just sitting in traffic in Los Angeles and then sitting in traffic in Houston to do what? Sit in an office so I can pay for a home I'm never in. So that's a good thing about if you live full-time in van life. Like, you're actually in the home you're paying for, you know, not having to just be like, you know, a slave to corporate America to pay for a home that maybe you can enjoy when you're like 65 and retired. I can't get behind that mentality. It's just the American dream of just work your whole life and then maybe get 2 weeks off a year, and most of that you're using for medical appointments. So it's like, I gotta take a vacation day from the job that's making me sick so I can go to the doctor and be told that my job is making me sick, and then turn around and go back to work because I need to have a job to pay the insurance to go to the doctor to tell me that I'm sick from the job that I'm doing. Welcome to America. never live that way. Never live that way. I will leave a job, you know, and go travel the world before I have to, you know, work a whole year just to get a week off. I just don't understand. Anyway, it's already like 90 degrees. This is horrible. I just woke up. Okay, so I'm heading to the Nissan dealer right now, and I'm just going to see, hopefully my warranty, they will pay attention to it and actually fix my tire, fix the bumper, the front bumper in the front, which is why it's the front bumper. And then I think I've got to find something to do today. I'm not going to ride my bike because by the time I get out of the Nissan dealer, it'll be the surface of the sun. So I think, I don't know what I'm going to do today. I've been to all the museums. Don't really have any other museums to go to. I'll have to look on my computer and find something to do. So yeah, so I obviously can't leave the dealership while I'm there, so it might take a few hours. So I'll probably just work on my computer, edit some videos, and then maybe do like an afternoon activity. So we shall see. I don't know what there is. I might just go home and sleep. But it's so hot in my apartment. Because it's so hot, our apartments aren't getting less than 81 degrees, even with the air conditioner blasting. And I never use the AC because I live on the shady side of the street, that, you know, I can run the AC all night, where I get free electricity from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then at 7 a.m. I turn my AC off and it keeps the house cool the rest of the day. But yesterday it was just horrible. I took like 2 showers. I was just melting. I can't do heat. I mean, I can do hot places. I just can't do Texas heat because it's like the humidity is what kills me. It's just unbearable. It's just like, it's like, I mean, Florida is fine. You've got the coast and you've got breezes and stuff, but this is a swamp. Houston is a swamp. I know people came here because of oil, but I tell you, like, I just, I don't know why anybody in the 1800s, in all those, like, thick outfits that they wore, that material and all that, you know, never showering and, you know, horse and wagon, why they decided that they were going to settle in Houston. And actually, Texas barbecue comes from Europe, from the Germans. So in the 1800s, the Ben Nevis boat, the big ship, sailed from Liverpool to Galveston, and there were a bunch of people from Saxony that went from Germany to Liverpool, and then got on the boat, and then in the late 1800s they got to Galveston and they were like, oh, Galveston, this place is crap. This is a shitty beach. Let's go inland more. So they ventured inland and settled between Austin and Houston in a place called Giddings. And that whole area is where the best Texas barbecue comes from. So like around the Austin area, Lockhart, San Marcos, even Austin, and then a little bit east when you get into like Giddings area, and they're all named like German towns, like they all have Germantown names. And so there was a group of people called the Wendishes, and there's actually a little museum called the Wendish Museum, which I went to, which is super cute. And the lady there is like probably 80 years old, and she's so happy to see somebody come in. Definitely check it out. It has all the information about, you know, the people that came over. So also the Czechoslovakians came to Texas. So our Texas barbecue is really German. Who knew? So it's funny when, you know, if like you're like a redneck Texan and you're against immigration, I'm like, yeah, you don't get to eat any more barbecue, sir. Like you are banned from barbecue. If you're against immigration, the reason you have barbecue is because of immigrants, you moron. Anyway, okay, so I'm heading a little bit of history. I think I've been vegan since August last year, and I think I'm gonna like continue until August this year and then be done with veganism. I just wanted to try it for a year. I'm gonna do a video on that later, but anyway, so yes, Texas barbecue is Czechoslovakian and German. So there you go. Okay, I'm at the Nissan dealership now. So right now he's trying to pull that piece out of the front. The whole car is shaking. Okay, so they finally figured out my warranties. I was like, dude, I'm right. Anyway, I used to do all this for Honda and Acura. All of these like photography and running footage, branded materials, all of this stuff. And yeah, just here's a little montage of all the things I did for Honda and Acura for a few years. Actually, it's my most fun job. And then in 2008, the car industry went down the drain. So I ended up moving to the movie industry. But yeah, this is where I've had 4 vehicles. The first vehicle I'll go through as well. I'll explain the 4 vehicles that got destroyed. 3 vehicles that got destroyed and the 4th one that I have. So Houston has not been kind to me when it comes to vehicles. Anyway, but they're okay. I mean, they're like, unfortunately at this point, the best of the worst of all the dealers. No, they're all right. The salespeople are fantastic. Absolutely recommend them. The service people, you have to kind of like fight with them a little bit. But anyway, so I was right, and they're gonna fix my car. So hopefully they'll put the front bumper back together and then fix the tire. And they said about 2.5 hours. So yeah, I'll go work on stuff. It's funny, they're so confused trying to get the space rock out of my my bumper. Don't break it. No, be gentle. Okay, hang on, they're pulling the whole thing down. They're gonna push that thing back in. You got it? There we go. I don't even know what hit my car. There we go, good job. Because I'm just afraid a possum's gonna get wedged in there or something. That's too funny. It's like they've probably never seen this before. They're like, what happened to your car? Okay, so now he's looking up on his phone exactly what I guess they're going to use the phone to film. He's got a flashlight. He's got a phone. It's like, I don't think that piece is supposed to come off at all. Okay, he's taking a picture of it so they can see it. Thank you. I appreciate these guys more than, these are like my spirit mammals. I appreciate them more than anything. So there she is, new tire. All right, I'm gonna go to the flight museum, which is over by Hobby Airport. So I think I'm gonna go walk around there for a little bit. It's only $9 to get in, so that should be fun. So just to check on the front bumper, okay, they put it back in. That looks fine. They actually had to go under and take off the bumper bit to put it on. So yeah, so we're good on that too. The 8 Beltway, which circles around Houston. So you have like the downtown, which is the 45 and the 59, and then you have the 610 freeway, which is what I live inside. So I live inside the loop, and then you have the 8 Beltway, which is basically our own personal NASCAR track. So literally, it's like a freaking NASCAR track. I swear, like some people on here go 100 miles an hour, and at night you get like the race car people, like with the souped up, you know, whatever they are, like Subarus, Hondas, like exotic race cars, Ferraris, and you just hear this like all night. So I am now heading to the Lone Star Flight Museum, which I've never been to. There's also a 1940s museum near Hobby Airport, which is the old Hobby Airport from the 1940s, and they actually filmed an Elizabeth Taylor movie there called Giant. And then they have her original bathroom vanity in the toilet, actually. And then I've already been there. And then if you go to Marfa, there's also the Paisano Hotel, and that was also where they filmed part of that movie. So anyway, this museum is like also near Hobby Airport. So we have George Bush Airport, Bush International, or IAH as we call it, International Airport Houston, which I have flown out of many, many times. And then Hobby Airport, which I've only flown out of, I think, one time. And so it's a smaller airport. But because Houston So it's like every time someone I know goes, I went to the wrong airport. That's right. You went to the wrong airport. But that's acceptable because it's freaking Houston and nothing makes sense here. So I'm about 10 minutes away. It's maybe 20 minutes from my house. So I'm going to check it out, and then I think that's a good day for me. I think I'm done with flat tires and flight museums. So it should be interesting. I like airplanes. I just, wish I was on one sometimes. But when you can't fly, you can at least learn about airplanes. So there's that consolation. So I was all excited, and it looks like it's closed. But there's people here. I don't understand. Maybe there's another entrance. I don't know. This looks like the entrance. Main entrance the other way. Okay, let me walk around. This might be a fail. Another option is to... Oh, there's the entrance. Okay. I was worried there for a minute. I was like, what?
Raider. It's going to replace the B-2, the big stealth aircraft, and they've named it Raider after the Doolittle Raiders. And for promotional purposes, they asked us to have our aircraft brought up to their museum, to their manufacturing facility. So my boss, who's the volunteer coordinator here, is highly active on this side of the flight operation. She also controls that. So she got to fly the B-25 up with the crew up to, I think it was in Kansas, I think is where they went. And they did a promotional flight with videos and everything for the manufacturer themselves of the airplane. There's a lot of oil dripping down.
How old is this one? How old is this plane?
It was made around 1944.
Oh, awesome.
Test for life longevity of it. It's really interesting. I was telling some of the other folks earlier that this engine was settled here. About 2 years ago, we had a lady come out in a wheelchair out here to watch the flight ops, and her 2 adult daughters had brought her out here. She was what we called a Rosie the Riveter.
All right.
Where she and a co-worker each night would build 2 of these engine nacelles at the North American factory up in Kansas. She never got to see a completed airplane.
Oh, wow.
Because of their security. And she worked 6 nights a week working on these things. So her daughters brought her out here to see this. And some of our flight crew got to talking with her and found out what her history was. So we took her on a flight. And the only way you could get in it in the front is by this ladder.
All right. Right.
So they brought her out here to, in her wheelchair. I said, well, how did you get her up in the airplane? And he said, she went up that ladder like a teenager.
I'd be excited too to see my work in progress. It's like I did this.
They actually seated her right behind the pilot so she could see real well. There's some video that we have in our orientation video. There's a little theater. When you come in, you see that wall of clouds.
Right.
Okay, there's a theater right on the other side. She's in that video, and so it was really interesting to hear her story.
We teach everybody how to pre-flight this Mooney here, and there's some things that are obviously wrong with it. And then once they pre-flight the Mooney, then we teach them to file a flight plan. See on the wall back there? They actually file a flight plan to fly this airplane from here down to Galveston.
Oh, that's fun. So they have to fix it first, and
They have
then.
to identify the faults.
Okay.
And then they figure out the flight plan where they learn their route of flight, how long it's going to take, and that sort of thing. And then they literally come in here, and it's the same airplane that the kids will fly this plane from here to Galveston. And to give you an example, out of the 20 kids we just had, 18 made it.
Oh, where did the other people go?
Right.
Dallas.
Sometimes you don't see water, you don't make it Galveston.
Oh, right.
But this is our aviation learning center. Okay, this is an actual full motion MX2 sim, and this is computer-based training for generally junior high on up, and it gets into the various aspects of flight, flight dynamics, weight and balance, navigation, instrument flight, weather.
So they rotate stations and learn everything?
Actually, depending on the crowd, we have each student in teams will teach the rest of the class what they learned here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of kids that have any kind of public speaking, and then they put everything down on Post-its, and then we come over here, and this is pretty well cleaned out, and they put what we learned here. Okay?
I learned what acceleration is. That's a good one. That's much needed.
And this is coup de grace, actual wind tunnel right here. That is so cool. And it has an app. We can show kids the difference between how a wing flies and how a house flies. And we can demonstrate how a wing flies and how it stalls.
Oh, I see.
Okay, see how the tufts are all wings in a full stall right there. Okay, so what we're teaching is that when an aircraft is stalling, it's got nothing to do with the engine.
It's all
Right.
airflow.
Yeah, so they can grow up and be great news reporters and understand what they're talking about when playing.
You get to choose where you fly to? Like if I want to go to Caribbean or something.
Yeah, we can do all that on,
Oh, okay.
on these two.
Aiming for me there. Okay, it's 96 degrees outside. I forgot to eat lunch, so I'm eating some animal crackers from the vending machine in there. That was super cool. That was really fun. I did not expect, I have like no expectations for the world anymore, but that was really cool. And all of the volunteers, some of them used to work for like United, which the continental version of United before like they merged together. So if you ever meet anyone who works for United and they've been working for like, you know, at least over 15 years, ask them if they're the continental people, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm continental, because they're the nice people and the United people are like the horrible people. So that's how you always know, because Houston, I guess, was a continental hub, so you get a lot of old pilots and old flight attendants that live here. But anyway, the Lone Star Flight Museum, they have summer camp for kids, which Harriette would have loved. If Harriette was with me, I would definitely send her to camp. It's so fun. They were throwing the airplanes they made off the balcony. They were doing like flight simulation. As the guy said, you have to like identify the issues with the plane, and then you have to like fly to Galveston. And he said like 18 of the 20 kids made it to Galveston. They didn't know where the other 2 kids ended up. So that's super fun as well. Oh, I think she would love this. Absolutely. Sign the petition. Get my kid to come home. Stupid court. I'm so just, you know, when she's not here, I'm just going to do fun things. Test them out, see what they're like for you guys as well. And then when she's home, we can go do these things together. But she would love it. And then they also have like the Flight Academy, or like, you know, other stuff that you can do where you can like actually yourself like try to fly on a few things. So I'm seeing the kids leaving camp with all the things their parents are like, oh, they're gonna throw this off the stairs at home. So, occupational hazard of being a parent, you end up having to carry all of the things your kid makes in camp. So it's fun. She would love this. Oh, I wish. Anyway, so I'm gonna head home. That's it for the vlog today. Maybe next time I'll do something else unexpected. So, all right, bye-bye.